Okay, students here, just look at it once again. So when we write a diary entry, what are the things that you have to remember? What does diary entry focus on? What does it focus on? I'm coming to your prepositions. Like, first of all, let me discuss the question that you got in the test. So diary entry is your personal experience. So what have you to focus on? You have to focus on the experience. That is, what feelings were there in your mind? What were the things that you undergone? You know, like when you had that experience. Okay, so they are of happiness, excitement, yes, sadness, grief, reality sometimes, yes, you're hurt, you are like all these, so many things. So what does this diary entry focus on? It focuses on the feelings that you have, it focuses on your experience. Now the question was about the plight of the animals in the zoo. And naturally, when you talk about the plight of the animals, it is something that is really going to make you feel sad. So what were the things that made you sad over there? Yes, how their freedom had been taken away from them, how they were in the cages, and how they had to move in this very confined space, right? And they were not taken, care of properly. And yeah, so wild animals need to be out in the open, and they should be there running around and having a lot of exercise, living in the natural habitat, and all that has been taken away from them. It made you realize things. Yes. So when you do, yes, your predominant feeling was one of sadness, right? When you write about it, it would be of sadness. Second, what have you understood? You have understood the value of freedom, the true meaning of freedom. That every animal, every individual has the right to be free, right? And if we are there, yes, so we do talk about zoos as a nice place where endangered species are there. We're talking about national parks and safaris where these animals are there living in their natural habitat. But in the zoo, all that is not there. So the freedom has been taken away from them. The conditions are not very good. And yeah, so you find that the animals, they don't appear to be so healthy and robust and so active, right? So here, these are the things that you would emphasize, okay? And yes, you have your day, date, time, format, isn't it? Please start with a little salutation. And of course, in the end, please write your name. And these are the things that you have to focus on when you write your diary. Most important thing is, yes, let us be very, very particular about the question. Let us find out what are the feelings that are there. So I've not been very, very strict with you all. Otherwise, I would have just deducted all the marks if you were not able to catch the emotion which you had to express. So please be particular about that. Read the question carefully. Next is, yes, I think so the other questions were okay, fine. None of you had much of a problem in other questions here. So why the camel lived in the middle of the desert? So he wanted to be alone and he was lazy, did not want to work. And the other animals were working for man. And so he wanted to escape doing that. And so he was there happy in the desert. Although he did not have, like good food to survive on, he was happy with the thorns and the prickles, the stones, but still he did not want to come out of that, what you can say, lonely, isolated place. Then, yes, the next question was that how in these times that animals did not die as much as humans when the tsunami took place, the chapter that we have read. So what is it attributed to? Is it the sixth sense or is it something else? So yes, it is definitely, yeah, that what predict, do you like many of you have written that animals are able to predict? What does that mean? How are they able to predict? Can they predict it? Or do they sense it before us? Yes, because they're very sensitive. They have this acute sense of hearing, a very high sense of hearing. So they are able to realize, yeah, so these catastrophes or these calamities that are about to happen. And so they are able to alarm their masters and warn them about it. And yes, so that is why they were not, you can say they did not have such a devastating loss in terms of animal life as compared to humans. So yes, so the sixth sense is definitely there. which helps them to come out of these difficult circumstances, or warns them about dangers that are happening. Fine. So these are the things that you had to focus on. Now let's come to our grammar book. Let us continue with prepositions. What are prepositions? Can anybody tell me? We had discussed that, and we are now going to discuss the prepositional phrases and the collocations. Okay. Yes. So what are we going to do today? Yes. All of you look at your books, please. And we have here, yes, we have the collocations and we have the prepositional phrases. Okay. What are the collocations? These are groups of words which we generally use together. They go side by side and they have been used for so long together. Yeah, that we are generally, like it's become a habit of using these words together. Yes. So we have these prepositions. They can be with a noun, they can be with a verb, they can be with an adjective. Okay, right? So accordingly, these collocations are there. What are collocations? Yes, these are the prepositions that have been fixed or they have been used quite commonly together, that it has become a habit with us to use them in that way. Okay, so here there is this box which is there, this table of collocations which are given here. Do you want me to discuss all these individually? Do you want me to discuss all of these individually? Can you read them quickly? Can you just read them quickly? The best way of understanding anything here, like, so whether it was prepositions, these single words that we had to do, if you make sentences, then we are able to understand. Because what does the preposition tell us? It tells us about the relation of the noun, right, with other words which are there in the sentence, right? So whether that preposition, it tells about the place, the position, the direction, or the cause, or the purpose which is there, right? And of course, with the relation to the noun. Now, what are collocations? These are these group of words. So along with the preposition, what is there in that group of words? It could be a noun, it could be a verb, it could be an adjective. Let us pick a few here and let us discuss them. Fondness for. Fondness. What does fondness mean? Fondness means to like something. Yes. So he is known for his fondness for grapes, or his fondness for mangoes is known to everyone. Clear? Yes. Right? Or his fondness for feeding the stray dogs is a very well-known habit. Yes. Afraid of. Can you make a sentence using afraid of? So when we start making these sentences, the meaning also they become clear, and you will realize that these words, they work together as a team, as a group. Yes, I'm afraid of snakes. Yeah, very good. I'm afraid of insects, cockroaches, whatever. Apologize for. Apologize for. Apologize means to feel sorry. Yes. So Rahul apologized for his mistake, right? Okay. The student apologized for his rude behavior. Yeah, okay, fine. Grasp of. Grasp. Grasp means to hold on to something. Yes. His grasp of the French language amazed everything. Yeah, grasp, holding on tight. Yes. And angry at. I was angry at my friend for not wishing me on my birthday. Isn't it? Yes. Ask about. Ask about. Ask about. Are we going to make sentences of all of them? Can you try? Yes, the teacher asked about the welfare of the students, about the health of the students. Yes, so he grasp of. Yeah, grasp of means the pucker, like his understanding about the topic. His grasp of algebra is amazing, right? Okay. Yes. Hatred of, aware of, ask for. So the things which you are not, I think so all these are very simple ones. You will be able to do these here, right? Yes, hope for. careless about. He's very careless about his appearance. He's very careless about his room, right? Or about the cleanliness of his room. Anything you can make up. Bring up. Bring up. I have to bring up this matter of absenteeism with the principal. Yes? Okay. All these sentences here that you can. Now here the questions are over here, which are for the practice. Let us go through these. Reason for. Let's make sentences. And students here, yes, if you want, you can write it in your notebook also. But if you feel it is easier that way, you can write on a page and staple it here. So that page, it remains with you. So you have the answers with you. So you can do it that way also. Okay? Right? So because naturally, here, yes, give me a reason for not attending the class. Yes, what is the reason for coming late to the class? Need for. Need for. Very good, Garvit. Yes, nice sentence Garvit has made. Yes, very good, all of you. Need for. There is a need for improvement in discipline of the class, isn't it? Yes, there is a need for developing good habits among children, right? So you can make others also. Next is interested in. Interested in. Yes, so Parul is interested in learning music. Yes, right? Yeah, I'm interested in sports. Fond of. Fond of. Yes, fond of. I'm fond of dogs. I'm fond of feeding the dogs. Yes, I'm fond of playing basketball. Yes, I'm very fond of to like something. Ask about. So we have done that also. Ask about it earlier. Also, we have done study for. I can only study for 3 hours, right? He can study for 8 hours in a day. Yes, familiar with. Familiar means to know something, to be comfortable with something that is familiar with, right? So you all are familiar with your school building. You all are familiar with the rules of this institution. Yes, I am quite familiar with all my friends. Belong to. Belong to. He belongs. This pen belongs to him. This book belongs to her. I belong to this country. Yeah. Jealous of. Oh my, we all are this feeling. Jealous of. So is jealous of his success. Right? Yes. Right. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Good sentences you all have made. Fine. Now, next is here. So these are collocations. These are the group of words which are generally used together. Okay. And this preposition, of course, it either follows this adverb, noun, or an adjective, right? Okay. Fine. So these two things, they come generally together. Now let's move on here. The next part is what are the phrases. Yes, what is a phrase? Phrase is also a group of words. And they become more meaningful when they are used in the sentence. Now here, when we talk about collocation, there are two words. In prepositional phrases, there are more words, right? More than two words. Yes. So, and once again here, these prepositional phrases, depending on the function that they do in the sentence. So depending what part, like they do in the sentence or which part of speech they are in the sentence, they function accordingly. So it can be an adjective, it can be a verb, right? So what does an adjective do? What does an adjective do in a sentence? It modifies the noun, right? So when the prepositional phrase, it gives more information to the noun. It is what? To be an adjective phrase, right? So if it is there, an adverb, so it will become an adverbial, right? Yes. So these here, like, look at these here on the computer, into the darkened room. So these are phrases. So which is the preposition over here? On the computer? On the computer. So these phrases here, yes, so there's a preposition, there is what the noun is there, and there, or this is, and of course, what is there about the prepositional phrases? It has its own object, yes, and the words that are associated with it. Okay, yes, here. Now let us see how it modifies that. Yes, so the prepositional phrase, it can have the function of an adjective or an adverb. And as an adjective, yes, it is going to modify the noun. And the simple trick here, which has been given, is that it answers the questions which. If it answers that question, then it is an adjective phrase. If it answers, the questions of how, when, why, where, then it is an adverb. Okay, then it is an adverb. Clear? Okay. Now look at this here. It is, let's look at this. Look at the lady in the blue dress. So of course here, which lady are we talking about? Are we talking, which lady are we talking about? So I've asked a question, right? Yes, so the lady in the blue dress. We're talking about the lady here. So it has given us more information about the lady. And so it is what a kind of an adjective prepositional phrase. Please take the pen next to the telephone. Which pen? Next to the telephone. Got your answer? And of course, your question. Now, as an adverb, what does an adverb do in the sentence? It modifies the verb. Okay, right. Now here, yes, of course, so adverbs here, you ask those questions here, which are what, when, where, why, how. The poor man sat beside the fence. Where did the poor man sit? What gives us the answer? This phrase gives us the answer, beside the fence. Okay, so of course it answers that question. So it is an adverbial phrase. I go for dance classes after school. When do you go for dance class? I go after school, right? They finished the match by scoring the winning goal. How did they finish the match? By scoring the last goal, okay? Right? Yes, so all this here. Now look at these questions here on this next page. Next page. And once again, if you want to, you can just mark it on the book itself. Make sure you do it neatly. And or if you want to, you can write it on a page and staple it over here so that you have your answers with you. So here you can write it over there. When you have to write long sentences, then you can do it on a page. But here you can write down neatly. Please write neatly on the book. Don't spoil your books there. Okay. Gia starts her music practice at 5 o'clock. Wait. Oh my God, I'm getting a flood of answers already. You people were reading the questions when I was discussing all this. Very smart we all are. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Gia starts her music at 5 o'clock. What's the question that is answered? What is the question? When does Gia start her practice? When? So when? So which is that? Which words give us the answer? Which words give us the answer? At 5 o'clock. So which phrase is it? Adverb. Clear? Yes. The invitation cards for the wedding have arrived. Which invitation cards have arrived? Which invitation cards have arrived? Question is which? Adjective. What is giving us the answer? For the wedding. Okay. So that is our phrase. Are you able to do this? You got these two correct? Who all got them correct? Oh, very nice. Very good. Yeah, good. Okay. Next one. The books in the box have been forgotten. Keyword, preposition. Which box? Which box? Or which books? Sorry. Yeah, in the box. Fine. So once again, question is which? Answer is in the box. So we both have what is the kind and we have identified a phrase. So which is the adjective phrase over here. Okay. And rather, what does it function as? What does it function as? As it does it function as the phrase we have identified and the question that we ask, depending the question we asking which or how, what, when, where. So accordingly, we will classify that phrase as an adjective or as an adverb. Next one. Do you know how to eat with a knife and fork? Yes. So you're asking like, can you use a knife and fork? Right? Yes. So you're asking this question here. Of course, it is an adverb with a knife and fork. The children leaned against the wall while they waited for their friends. So where were the children leaning? Yes. Who were the children waiting for? Can there be two phrases also? Can there be two phrases? Yes or no? Yes. So let's see that. Yes. So here it is. Right. Yeah. So both are adverb. Both are adverb. Are you getting the answers? Are you getting the answers? Very nice. My classroom is next to the staff. Where is your classroom? Or which is your classroom? What am I describing here now? I'm describing the classroom. I'm giving more information about that. Yes. So will it be adjective or will it be adverb? My classroom is next to the staff. It's a reply, right? So my classroom is next to the staff room. I'm giving more information about it, isn't it? Yes. So it is. So where is being answered? So where is, you're telling where is your class? Okay, adverb, adverb. Okay, fine. You all say adverb. Next one. Don't leave the scissors on the table. Put them back. Where have you left the scissors? On the table, right? So it is once again an adverb. Okay. Yes, correct. You must get back before 9 o'clock. When must you get back? When are you supposed to get back? Question. When, and of course, what is it acting as? As an adverb once again. The car beside mine is Arjun's. Which car is Arjun's? Which yeah, yeah, so what is it over here? As an adjective. Okay. Everybody got the right answers? Everybody is getting the right answers? Yes. The vegetables in the basket are all fresh. Which vegetables are fresh? Which vegetables are fresh? The ones in the basket. Okay. Yes. Right. So all the vegetables in the basket are fresh. Okay. So this is adjective. Is it adjective? Yeah. Very nice. Why did you leave your shoes inside the car? Where have you left your shoes? Inside the car. So you've got your phrase. Right? Clear. Yes, absolutely. According to Manoj, the principal is a kind man. The principal is a kind man. Yes, what kind of a man is the principal? So what would it be? Would it be adjective or will it be adverb? It's a kind, he's a kind man. It is, let's see the question that is, it is adverb. 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 It should be, yeah, it looks like an adjective, but it should be right. That. Okay. Fine. Clear? Yes. So very good here. So with this, we have finished off with the exercises of preposition.